Simpson lookalikes, a real-life Tarzan, and a human Shrek. In this video, we're gonna take a look at people who look like cartoon characters. We're starting off with the awkward cook from Ratatouille. Who can forget the awkward cook Alfredo Linguini from the cartoon Ratatouille? Alfredo is a young man who aspires to be a chef someday. Although he's a terrible cook, he makes friends with a rat named Remy, who has the special skill of cooking. As you know, Peter Griffin is a fictional made character in Family Guy. He's the dad who doesn't know what to do with his life, but finds it easy to get himself in trouble. Although not everyone can rock a chubby, fluffy body like him in real life, there's a kid who seemed to have cracked the code. Indeed, he looks like Peter Griffin. What's more interesting is that he knows that he looks like Peter Griffin, and he's very proud of it. Now, you may be wondering who Peter Griffin's character was based on. Well, it wasn't this kid. It was a man named Paul Timmons. Paul Timmons is a native of Rhode Island, which is similar to the show itself and even the creator of the show. This Peter Griffin lookalike also knows how to mimic the cartoon character. With this, we know that if they ever need to do a real-life adaptation of Family Guy, he would have to play the role of the younger Peter Griffin. This beautiful Disney character also has a real-life lookalike. You might have dressed like her during Halloween, but you don't look like her as much as this lady does. Moana quickly became a popular Disney princess thanks to her attitude toward life and adventurous nature. The story is one like no other. Moana's lookalike has to be the biggest surprise to hit the cartoon lookalike world. Her name is Alua Carvalho. Not only does she look like Moana, but she was also the one that voiced her character in the movie. My guess, the character was created out of her. Her voice is just as magical as the character she plays, and she looks like a real-life princess. That's not even the most interesting part of this story. You see, Aluili was the last girl to audition for the role of Moana. She even thought there was no way she would be called or picked for the role. As fate would have it, she was called for the role, and the rest is history. She's the youngest person to ever voice a Disney princess. She gave Moana her voice. The resemblance she has with the Disney princess is so amazing that even her hair looks like Moana's hair. The details of Moana's hair are striking. Could they have created Moana after seeing her, or was it just luck? No one really knows. Maybe they're secretly twins and no one's telling us. We also know that there is nobody that can play Moana as well as Alui, but maybe we can find another person who looks just like Moana. Absolutely. She might not be an actress like Alui, but fans have said that singer and songwriter Alyssa Cara looks just like Moana. I think I can see a little resemblance. What do you think? No one would have imagined the fairy Disney princess with long hair would have a look-alike. Rapunzel is a feisty Disney princess with long magic hair. Finding someone with the same length of hair as Rapunzel will be an impossible mission. However, we did find a person that looks just like her. She's a popular actress. Amanda Seyfried, who acted in Mean Girls and Mamma Mia, is the real-life version of Rapunzel. They're both blonde, they have similar mouths, noses, and even the same eye color. We think it's their huge green eyes that really make them look so alike. They even have the same character traits. Amanda is known for playing a bubbly and adorable personality just like Rapunzel. Another lady who looks just like Rapunzel is Dara Gubanova, a Russian beauty. The length of her hair is amazing, almost 6 feet long. If Rapunzel needs a movie, we know who to call. Meet Toy Story Andy in real life. If you've seen the Toy Story series, you would agree that Andy is an unforgettable character. In Toy Story, Andy is headed off to college. He's a lot older than he was in the first 2 movies. He's grown from being a teenager who used to play with his toys as a child and is now a college student. All your favorite Toy Story characters were owned by Andy. He was just a regular kid who loved his toys so much, especially Woody. Well, that was until Buzz Lightyear came to take Woody's place in his heart. Of course, Woody got upset when he saw that his owner was getting a little too obsessed with the newest toy in his collection. He causes trouble for Buzz Lightyear, and the 2 toys get lost when Andy's family's trying to move. We all know how the story unfolds. They got together as a team and found their way back to the owner. The Toy Story series is over 20 years old, and somewhere in this world, there's a carbon copy of Andy. This guy took a similar picture of when Andy posed with Woody and Buzz Lightyear in his hands. He's also faced with the question of which toy to choose from between Woody and Buzz Lightyear. It seems this will always be a problem. Cartoon characters are beautiful, but this real-life lookalike is even more pretty. Many girls would love to look like the Disney princess Elsa from Frozen. It'd be cool to have superpowers like her, or at least look like her. The Elsa costume alone has been sold in huge quantities since the movie came out, and the number of sales increased drastically with the second part of the movie. Elsa is one of the prettiest characters in Disney World with her blonde hair and beautiful blue eyes. We've seen a lot of people who look like her once they dress up in her costume, which makes us wonder if there's a real-life Elsa somewhere. Well, we didn't have to look further. This girl right here is a copy of Elsa. Just look at her eyes. How could a human being have such eyes? She even tried to mimic the expression on Elsa's face. You can see the striking resemblance between the two. We doubt that she has the same powers as Elsa, but as looking like her is just just enough. She doesn't even have to do much to look like Elsa, as you can see in the picture. She has no special effects makeup on her face. She just naturally shares features with Elsa. All she has to do now is wear a blue dress and pretend to have superpowers, because that's what I'll do. Do you think this is Elsa's long-lost twin? Back to the look-alike, his hair and facial features are completely identical to that of Andy, who is only an animated character. Even some old people look like cartoon characters. We found not one, but two people who look like Carl from the cartoon Up. Martin Scorsese is the first real-life version of Carl. It's hard not to see the resemblance between the two of them. The legendary director looks so much like Carl, an old man who sets out on an adventure and takes his beloved house with him. From the picture, we can see they both have the same white hair, thick eyebrows and nose. Even their black-framed glasses look alike. That is weirdly accurate. Although Carl's character looks grumpier during the first half of the movie than the legendary director, they share some similarities even in their behaviors. Martin Scorsese is a director who is well known for directing adventurous and thrilling films. However, the adventure Carl went on can't be described as dark like the ones Martin would normally direct. His films usually involve crime and violence rather than balloons, talking dogs and birds. But we know one thing for sure, they both look alike, and they both love adventure. Martin could easily be the real-life Carl. The second look-alike is seen in this picture. The resemblance is truly spectacular. He has the same thick glasses and nose as Carl. He even has the same smile as Carl. It seems like Carl has jumped out of the screen and into the real world. His next character will shock you, because I wasn't expecting that. Have you seen kids in suits? You'd agree they look extra cute, right? Just like the lead character in the animated movie Boss Baby. You know how naughty this baby was in the movie. I'm sure no one would want a baby that's equally the same. Look at this baby. He looks just like the Boss Baby, and we think he can play the real-life version of the cartoon character. Let us tell you a bit about it. Boss Baby's a movie about a baby who's a total boss. He's a full package. He's dressed in a black suit. He carries a suitcase and goes on a hunt to find out the reason behind losing their fair safe of love. The man behind the voice of the character is Alec Baldwin, and he looks nothing like Boss Baby. However, since we found the real-life version of the Boss Baby, there's no need to worry. If the time comes to cast a real-life Boss Baby, we already know who will be prioritized. Hopefully this baby's not too old to fit the role by then, but it's okay because he isn't the only Boss Baby out there. Here's a picture of another baby in a suit looking as adorable as the Boss Baby. I think I like this little boss better. Which character do you prefer? This little girl is a real cartoon character. Boo from Monster High is an adorable little girl who is not afraid of monsters. She's one of the main characters in the film, and she's widely loved by both young and old. Laura Rossoto, who's a resident of Celestin Derby, is a mom to an adorable 8-month-old Leela, who looks just like Boo. Laura says that she gets comments on her child's resemblance to the animated Disney character almost every day. She even decides to pack her daughter's hair like Boo's just to show the resemblance even more. She was born with an almost full head of jet black hair, which stunned everyone. Laura stated that the resemblance to Boo was first spotted by her friend after giving Leela big pigtails just like Boo. I bet she isn't scared of monsters either. You wouldn't believe who this celebrity looks like. Did you notice that Ed Sheeran looks just like Chucky Finster from the animated series Rugrats? Okay, let's prove it to you. Take a look at their pictures side by side. Bet you can't tell the difference, right? Ed Sheeran's red hair and thick glasses make him a perfect lookalike for Chucky. For those who don't know who Ed Sheeran is, he's a talented singer and songwriter. Although Chucky is not a good singer like Ed, we can't deny the resemblance. In fact, the resemblance is so great that he looks even more like Chucky as he grows up in the grown-up version of the animated series. Chucky even sang Ed Sheeran's Shape of You back in 2018. Are they siblings, or is Ed hiding his true self in the cartoon character? It seems like Chucky and Ed Sheeran have a lot more in common than just looks and thick-framed glasses. Maybe Ed and Chucky need to have a sit-down together and give us a collaboration. Another character from Up. Although we've mentioned one character from the movie Up earlier, we just can't overlook this one. It's starting to look like many of the characters in the movie Up were based on real-life people. Who remembers the loud and overly hyper little kid from the movie? Russell. He's very fun and curious about everything. He was also a bit of an annoyance to Carl, but throughout the movie, they shared a strong bond that could never be broken. Russell has a unique stature. He's chubby and looks adorable, and it might be difficult to see someone who looks like him, but we found someone. They not only share the same look, they basically have the same eyes, the same hair, and the same chubbiness. I bet they have the same attitude too. The kid also dresses like him. It's almost like they're casting the real-life actors for the characters in this cartoon. Here he is standing in front of the Up poster looking unique and adorable just like Russell. He even has spiky black hair like the Disney character. With the cap on his head, it looks like Russell's come to life. We don't know if there would ever be a real-life action of Up, but we already have an idea of who they would want to pick for Russell's character. All he needs is an exotic bird named Kevin and a talking dog named Doug to complete the character. Dora the Explorer. Every kid loves Dora, sometimes even adults. Yes, I mean, who wouldn't? She's taught us Spanish through her adventurous journeys. Her Spanish lessons could even be considered better than the Spanish courses out there. I'm just saying. Dora has a backpack that contains everything you can possibly need in any kind of situation. She got so popular that her bags and even her costumes were sold. If you don't have at least one of Dora's items, then you're not a real fan. Over the years, Dora has taught us how to look for things and enjoy adventures with her magical map. And now we have found her lookalike. Some people are just lucky. They don't need to dress like her to look like her. Naturally, they're exactly the same. This picture of this girl dressed in pink looks just like Dora. Her hairstyle is the same. Look at her backpack too. She's so adorable. Who knows, she might even have a magical map at home too. She looks absolutely like a spitting image of Dora the Explorer. Starting now, things get even more interesting. Keep watching until the end. How about a lookalike that looks scarier than the actual character? Ogres are not real, and you'd most likely be freaked out if you saw a green guy with ogre eyes walking down your street. No matter how much you love Shrek, you would run away from such a sight. However, we think someone who looked exactly like Shrek existed sometime on this earth. Take a look at this picture. There's no telling that this guy is a carbon copy of Shrek. Of course, he has no ogre's ears, but his facial features look just like Shrek's. The nose and eyes are spot on. The only difference is he doesn't look as friendly as Shrek does. He looks scary, like a real ogre if there was one. His mean look is a result of his profession. His name is Maurice Tillet, and he was a wrestler from the 1930s to 40s. He was named the French Angel. He looks a lot like Shrek, even with his expressions. There's a possibility that Tillet was the inspiration for Shrek's design. Think about it. There was even a wrestling match in Shrek Part 1 where Shrek takes down Kids champions. We've seen a lot of people who look like cartoon characters, but here's one who doesn't only look like a cartoon character, she also lives like one. Tarzan is a fictional human that was raised by apes in the jungle. He loves climbing and swinging from one tree to another. He lives a very simple life too. Well, we found a real-life Tarzan. He doesn't just look like him, he also lives like him. This man called Jason lives in the jungles of Hong Kong. He has the same long hair as Tarzan, the same look, and even the same energy. He lives in the coastal areas of Hong Kong, surrounded by forests, and fully claims that he loves his simple life as the real-life Tarzan. He also claims that he has no plans of shifting to city life anytime soon. Now, Disney has already reached out to him to do what he loves most, be Tarzan. This last lookalike would throw you off your feet, so brace up. Just like Shrek, it's really difficult to find lookalikes for some cartoon characters. Homer Simpson has given us a tough time looking for his lookalike, but guess what? We found the perfect person just for you. Although during our search we came across this image, it looks like a 3D design because no one would ever look like this. This was designed by a Twitter user, Miguel Vasquez. If there were a real-life Simpson, he would look like this. But we also found some people who look a bit like Simpson's dad. While they all share very similar features, the 3D design is the perfect fit for Simpson. If this person actually existed, I'm sure kids would be scared of him. Enjoyed the video? Now watch this one.